Hello everybody and welcome back. I'm Count Christo and this is the Best of Both Worlds campaign. Thank you for joining me. First off, did you know that this province is not owned by a nation we're at war with, and that's why we can't navally invade it? Because I knew that. I knew it for a while now. Because it's probably the most common comment I've ever received in the history of my channel. No, that's not quite true, but a lot of you have pointed it out, and you are correct. I've been desperately trying to invade this province, because I think quite reasonably I concluded that, well, there's US troops there, right? So it must be hostile, therefore we should be able to invade it. But no, this is part of Republican Spain, with whom we are not in a state of war. So that's why we can't invade that province. Good to know about that. So, let's finish off Malta. And with the capture of Malta, while the Mediterranean is not a Mittel Europa lake, it is a it is only shared by a neutral faction. They do grant military access, but that doesn't matter. You can't invade from someone who just gives you military access. So, we're ploughing in here, driving back the American invasion here. Should have very little problem there. We've got planes over the region. So now, preparations for the naval invasion of the United Kingdom, essentially. It's going to be tough to invade. They do not have barely anything of a fleet left. The Americans do. So, depending on where the American fleet is currently active, we could have problems there. The Eastern Theatre continues to be a bit of a joke. They haven't really put up a strong line of defense here. The Raj stands ready to oppose us, but we don't really need to push into the Raj just yet anyway. They don't stand ready to oppose us very well here. Supply situation honestly would get better if we kind of pushed all the way down to this port. We could supply it from the Suez, although obviously British raiding in the Indian Ocean would be a bit of a problem. Yes, it would. Don't get me wrong. So, probably just prepare for Sea Lion, and in the meanwhile, we'll crush Sweden. With our tanks operating in relatively open terrain until we reach the Norwegian mountains, I think we'll have no problem annihilating Sweden. Depending on how well fortified Norway is, I think the only real difference that will make is the number of allied casualties that we inflict during the conquest of the northern section of the Scandinavian Peninsula. Well, the western section, I suppose. And the northern section, but you know what I mean. We have never taken this province, excuse me. Oh, and there's some ungarrisoned ports. That seems ill-advised. No, that's this port, right, of course. Right. There we go. And you, Greek troop, just finish off that area if you would. We are not being very sensibly opposed down here. That's interesting. I imagine there'll be a fairly slow infantry move from the north. We don't want to put too many tanks and stuff in the north because the supply situation is going to be pretty bad. So let's just finish driving these guys back, and then I can start positioning the tanks for getting ready to land them for Sea Lion and seeing which troops we're going to use, which infantry we're going to use. We have invented Marines. We're inventing Marines. Okay, 150 days till we invent Marines. We might well try and do the landing without Marines. I'm very confident that if we just landed Portsmouth and Dover, secured the ports simply and quickly with some well-trained infantry, and if this is assuming we've established naval dominance over the channel. If we just landed in these plains tiles, took the ports, and then shipped over tanks, Britain would fall in a matter of weeks at most. So, to that end, let me... Well, the tanks can go up to help with Sweden, yes, that's fine. But the infantry, which infantry are we going to use for the invasion? Have we sent... We have only sent one army of our best to the east, okay. And in the north, they're all just the mountaineers. Where are my crack divisions? Which is the best template? Remind me. It is the Logi one. Okay. So you guys looking pretty good. These ones here, ready for the invasion of Sweden. How about you? Yes, you're not going to be... Well, Do we need 2 armies for the invasion of Sweden? We do, but let's not make it this one. These guys are going to come down here. And we also have some guys standing ready in Calais. Let's bring these down to Lille. You guys in Calais. I bet we have the equipment for this. We actually don't quite on towed anti-air. But I'm going to switch them early and get them training back up. Wow. We're going to have a lot of medium tanks. How many? We've got quite a lot of tank divisions right now. We have recently invented moderns, I believe. Yes, indeed. And modern anti-air. So I think, given the number of tanks we have, we should start building modern tanks. Because we're not going to have a broad front like the Soviets ever again. Once we're into the US, of course, we'll have a big front. But not as big as the huge stretching Soviet front. So we don't need a huge number of tanks. What I think we need, really, are crack tank divisions ready to make the initial landing, which I think will probably come in the form of a consolidation of our power in the Mediterranean, perhaps capturing key islands and turning them into air and naval bases, and then landing in Florida. Florida is a great place to land, I think, for our tanks, because we can immediately seize some relatively good level ports in Miami. We could also do a simultaneous landing at New Orleans, perhaps, but I think Florida is a good place. It's quite narrow, which favors our landing, I think. Good port in the south that we can upgrade. Not flat, not plains, lots of forests, but no hills or mountains. Whereas if we came in from the north, there's some quite difficult river crossing terrain. There's some difficult mountainous areas. I think tank landings in Florida are going to be where it's at. So we're going to consolidate power here and see what we can do to bring down the American Navy in order to prepare for a landing. But said landing will need some crack troops, not a huge number of medium tanks, not at initial stages anyway. What it will need are glorious modern tanks. So I am going to heavily invest in building some modern tank divisions. The other thing we can do is begin replacing medium anti-air in our mediums with modern anti-air. There's no real reason to use medium anti-air anymore. We do not have a modern AA line. By the way, if anyone knows of this mod, I have looked for it and never found it. I know some people like seeing oh, that's the Panther and that's the Corleone, or that's the, Gross tractor, big tractor. I don't care even a little bit about all these fancy names. I wish it was just Light Tank 2, Medium Tank 3 in the name. So here I could easily see what it is. This is the E-50A, okay, which is just the modern tank. Right, I wish it just said modern tank there. And if there was a mod for that, I would love to be informed about it. So, modern anti-air. We have the technology to give them a maxed out anti-air armament, which seems smart to me. I'd like to retain some reliability, but army experience is going to be hard to come by. I think this is the correct spend. We can squeeze for a little bit of reliability. Yeah, give me that modern anti-air, please. And how much more expensive than the medium are they? They are double. They are double the price. And what is their air attack relative? 87 compared to 75. So not worth it, at all. Assuming air attack works something like soft attack. But I think it doesn't. Maybe we don't build modern anti-air, but then again, oh crap. I just switched the whole line off producing modern tanks, so rip production efficiency. Oh well. I think we concluded. Did I build a modern? I did begin doing it. No, I've finished doing it. Right, it has the mediums in for now. It's what was it, 1 to 20 or something? 1 to 12 for mediums? We'll assume it's roughly the same. Start with something like this. And yeah, dialing back on medium production. Oh, we already have dialed in pretty hard on that. Needed for reinforcement, really? Oh, just of this right here. Okay. Well, let's not do that. And let's reduce production rates. Something like this. Oh, I really should have done this first. Oh well. I guess we'll reduce it even more. With a couple of tanks producing them efficiently, they should be able to keep up just fine. And yeah, we'll produce like that. Okay. Do I want to convert my medium 2s into medium 3 anti-air? Yes, I do. In terms of infantry equipment, we've got the right kind of... Sorry, not infantry, but, you know, infantry and artillery subcategory. I think this is about right. Some people suggested we should have some motorized divisions. I think you're probably right. That invasion of France would have been easier if we'd had motorized moving to the front quickly. But I think America, we won't need it. We'll have enough tank divisions by the time we're in America that we can just fill the front with a steadily advancing wall of tanks and have no problems. I think we will endeavor to avoid ever going to war with Republican Spain. Honestly, I have the strategically important parts of Spain, that is to say, Gibraltar, and that's it. So we don't really need to go to war with them. So I think we just won't. You guys can cancel these naval invasions, therefore, and head north, preparing for the naval invasion of Britain. We will need to shore up... Well, no, we don't actually, do we? I was going to say we need to shore up some coastal defenses in Europe. In fact, we can abandon them as soon as this invasion is completed, which will take place in 1 day. Rockets invented. I'll press straight on to rocket engines. There go our brave boys, going for that invasion of Malta. Good luck. Godspeed and all that. What else could we do to prepare for this invasion? We could land Italians. I like that thematically. The Italians haven't really done great work so far in this war. They're going to... we'll do a probing attack with some Italians. Yes, this is good. So from Cherbourg, we will land here. And from Dunkirk, we will land here. This seems good. And then some of you can come in here as well. Cool. And we can just see how well and how quickly the British react. And if the Italians manage to take the ports and begin our grand invasion, good for them. So, there are almost no enemy ships present. There will, of course, however, be vast Allied air power deployed over the channel the moment we start trying to contest the air. There are a couple of options to respond to this threat. Number one, we can endeavour to engage them in a full assault. We can launch vast air power over the channel and over southern England. We could try and bomb their air bases out of existence. The runway catering would be out of control. The second option is we could not deploy the Air Force at all, and therefore bait the British into not realizing there's a massive naval invasion happening until it is too late, and then deploy the Air Force only once we are over the channel. Both have merits. I think we don't have the air power for runway catering. We have 60 tactical bombers, and that's it. We have recently invented superior tactical bomber technology. TAC Bomber 2 is now available to us. I think we may attempt total air superiority without catering, which is very, very difficult to accomplish. So it will need to be short term. Our losses will be high, very high. But I think it's something we can do. So let's begin moving planes, ready to deploy over the channel. And let's see what kind of casualty ratios we can accomplish over the channel right now. We do have not comprehensive, but significant radar coverage. This should be of the highest priority. The Holland, it is actually not upgraded. Okay, well, we should upgrade the Holland radar station. We're building a bunch of infrastructure, apparently. Why is this? Ah, right, for resources. We could close the economy relatively soon. We could also turn off construction engineering to close the economy faster. But I do love banging out all this industry, so I think we'll probably keep doing that. You guys, I'm just mere moments of being fully trained, so let's get you there. These guys are all training up, but they're still lacking some equipment. You need another couple of days, that's fine. The world situation, fairly calm. The little small progress we made here, I think, is to be immediately relinquished. It gains us little effect to launch an invasion into Italy, into Africa right now. They're still just pressing on under their own steam in the east. That's fine. Invasion of Malta has succeeded. Congratulations. The Allies have nowhere to go. Now, people were mentioning we should have a small destroyer force hunting down the Allied subs that appeared to be active in the Mediterranean. I think they might all be dead to air power, but I agree with the sentiment. Light cruisers have some sub attack, I believe. Yes, they do. So this small navy here can act as a an anti-sub force, and sure, have the commander for now. Just search and destroy in this section of the Med, and we'll see if we can find anyone. I'd say it was unlikely. Could also just convoy escort, of course. So the Kriegsmarine took massive battering during the invasion of France. We are down a lot of ships. We do have our backup carriers, which I look forward to deploying. But for now, they should go and sit in Zealand. Those that do remain will be split up for repairs in the customary fashion. There we go. Good. We didn't lose the Brandenburg. That's good. What other ships that we know? We didn't lose any carriers, I believe. No, we lost one carrier. That's correct. We lost one carrier, I believe. Large ships on low strength. Yes, the Aurora very nearly went down as well. Potsdam holding strong there. Good. Where's the Christo? Did the Christo fall? Please, no. Okay, there he is. Nice. The Christo, the super heavy battleship, took heavy damage but survived the storm. Switzerland, obviously, a bit of a threat. They could join the Allies and wage war on us, but I don't think they will. Some more Italians being deployed. Good. Sure, just stay there for now. So we can take the troops out of the Mediterranean ports now. Now that we have secured 100% of the Mediterranean from the Allies, which is excellent news. So all you guys, all you many troops, look at all the divisions we had deployed. Oh yes, and Cyprus has fallen. The many divisions we had dedicated to Mediterranean port defense. 155 of them, no less, can now move to more useful positions. We will take the time to deploy them to ports around Europe. They are the Atlantic Wall embodied, and they will never fall. So I think we could do with some more down here as well, because it seems to be where the Americans are fond of invading. We could put some more men on this fallback. Seems good. We could be picky and just send crack divisions, perhaps. It seems good. Where else? Probably, we could just fill these ports, like, to an absurd degree. I don't see much harm in that. Most of our... there is some harm I can think of, but there's not much harm. Most of these guys, of course, are not excellent divisions. They're not the kind of divisions we want to be really using on the front line or anything like that. So I don't really have anything against using them to just man ports that they're unlikely to ever need to actually, man up and actually properly defend. I have no particular objection to that. We are now going over ports we've already done. There's going to be a lot of port defenders around. We could perhaps beef up down here. Ceuta, I really would not like that to fall. Gibraltar, obviously, would be a disaster if that would fall. Let's give them a bunch more men. Casablanca's are quite a big port. Let's give them some more. The remaining 44? Well... Yeah, up here. Oh, hello. There's actually American tanks in there. That's interesting. Going to have to deal with those, but that's fine. We have glorious Mountaineer divisions on hand. Anywhere else? There is a port here that we missed. After the fall of the communists. Anywhere else? Well, I mean, there are the Baltic ports, I suppose. So sure, we'll put some on there. Some of these are divisions that have partly our manpower in, but only to a very small degree. That is a proper division. He will be rescued, brought into a proper army. Okay, so let's deal with that situation over there. Ernst, I want you to send half your Mountaineers to show them who's boss, please. Rapidly deploy from 2 directions. Don't allow them to gain a foothold. Should be good. Okay. Send those men all to their stations. I'm not going to delete all the orders on here. So we'll just turn that one off. That's fine. Not finding any subs here. Let's try the other half of the med. Looks like we've cleared them all out, so that's nice. Their planes have gone. No active bombing going on. Maybe down here? No. Over here? Yes. Bit of bombing in Egypt. Not a very large concern. We could build up some more radar in Cairo if we felt it necessary, but I'll be honest with you, I don't. The time limiting factor on Sea Lion is basically when the Kriegsmarine is repaired. Then I think we'll be ready to at least give it a go. The Americans seem to have very little faith in their British allies. They haven't deployed their fleet over here, as I might have, to defend the British. So I think it's going to be a bit of a stomp, honestly. You guys finish training. You guys finish training. You guys never begun. You guys could come up and join your comrades in Belgium, if you'd be so good. France, sorry. And then you can all train. We should wait till they arrive before we start training, or these ones will be behind. Why? Yeah, first stop. We're going to stop off in this port. Actually, I mean, that kind of makes sense, doesn't it? From a roleplay perspective, at least. Like, maybe they'd need to resupply there or something. Don't need to garrison this port. I might go through and delete all the fallbacks, but I don't. I mean, I know I don't need to, but it just feels wrong having all these fallback lines for no reason. We are going to get some resistance in some areas formerly manned by port defenders, but that's okay. We have the military police capacity. We very much have the military police capacity to deal with that. Alexandra, what are you growing at? Probably 3 will be sufficient. We might as well help out our Turkish allies. Their military policing efforts apparently not really up to snuff right now. Good. So people ask often, fairly often, why, oh why, Christo, do you manually garrison the ports and manually do the military policing? And there are a number of reasons for each. The simplest answer I can give you is Google Count Christo port defense strategy. And I've done a short video explaining why you should manually garrison the ports. In short, if you let the AI do it, they don't do it well. If you use the garrison command, the troops won't distribute on ports very sensibly. And they will also move between ports at inconvenient times, like when the AI has just launched an invasion. They might all suddenly decide, okay, there's one less port, so we all need to move. If you manually do it like this, I much prefer it. Not least because, let's say you had the garrison command here, and the enemy landed at Valencia. If the enemy were to land at Valencia, and you're on a port garrison, your men will then repeatedly attempt to attack Valencia and retake it, which is very annoying. What I want them to do is just basically stand by for instructions, which is what they'll do. If their complete garrison order is taken, it will delete the order, and they will await further instructions, which is what I want them to do. On military policing, the AI moves men from A to B whenever you change the order, and it doesn't calculate which units are closest in order to meet the military policing demand. So if you have new demand in France, it might use men that are in, Siberia or wherever in order to come over and garrison that region. So I personally don't mind taking the time. We have the Bismarck rather down here. And some level 3 carriers. We need to get them up to the channel, ready for operations there later on. I have really enjoyed the Gneisenau's freaking glorious work. I say sterling a lot, apparently, according to the comments. Sterling is just a good word. Look at this. Yes, more South African convoys. So what we could also do is begin raiding the British Isles in earnest. We could send out the Christo. It's not an experienced vessel. We'll give it a fantastic commander. You can do it, Christo. The Christo. I want you to convoy raid the Denmark Strait, but I'm going to manually move you there because I don't want you to go into the North Sea. And we're going to send out a couple of super heavy battleships. It may be to their doom, but it just seems really fun. So, you as well. I'm going to name them just so I can find them in the list. Well, you know, we can have competitions. How many convoys can each battleship sink? Let's send them out in... Oops, excuse me. There we go. Any more for any more? Yes, 2 here. The Scharnhorst. Even if this is the end of all our super heavy battleships, it'll be a great way to go. The Scharnhorsts. The final commander. 3 is probably a good number to start with. This is where, you know, reports begin to come in to British High Command. The Germans are attempting a breakout. 3 super heavy battleships. Vast, vast images on the horizon have been seen moving across. Are we trading well here? We're not trading that badly, to be honest. I might keep this fight up. We've got full coverage. Not quite. We've got some bad fighters here. Oh no, those are the fighters on the carriers. These guys, yeah, full coverage. We could move more fighters over this region if the British are willing to just mill their planes here. Because we do have a sizable number of planes now, but they do have more. I think we cease air operations here once the super heavies have reached their destinations. Where's the third one that I sent out? Excuse me. The Christo, the Hutton. Where's the other one? Ah, the Scharnhorst. Scharnhorst is not going? Excuse me? Oh, no, it's the Christo. Ah, it's repairing still. Alright, fair. We should allow it to complete its repair task. These 2 are already fully repaired. Alright. He's into the Norwegian. We question the motives of Sweden. Yeah, Sweden, what are you up to? More free men. Where am I going to deploy? I mean, I suppose I should just pick a port whenever we get a new puppet division these days. Let's just take a random port and give it some guys. Seems fine to me. Yeah, way overdoing it here. Double the supply right now. So we'll have a second fallback line in the previous supply zone. Something like this. Just in case they need reinforcements, but not so to overdo the place. So this small flotilla has failed to find any enemy ships. Let's just check out the Black Sea as well. Alright, the ships have reached their positions. Begin convoy raiding. I think we'll go 1 here. You can go here. And then we'll send 2 more. And we'll have the whole Atlantic convoy raided. Which I really like the idea of. I must say. So, yeah, go on then. Let's take the time. Give me another one. This is the... I don't have that character on my keyboard, I'm afraid. Or know a shortcut key for it. I'm not going to pay for a new commander. So the Grove is going out without an admiral. Questionable, perhaps. But there you have it. And we need 1 more. The Brandenburg. Damn right. Let's name him. Berg, is that right? That looks wrong to me. Brandenburg. Yeah, that's right. Cool. We will send him out following the same path. Good. And yeah, some convoy raiding in the Atlantic, meaning any American fleet coming over, we'll at least get warning. And a bunch of convoys will perish. England is trying to import stuff. We could also, extend the war. Like, do we want to try and rush into an early invasion of England? I know some of you will think, oh god, anything to make it end faster, but I kind of feel like maybe we should try and starve England out and actually kill their air force. We should face... Yeah, go on then. We're going to face the RAF. We're not just going to do a short-term push like France. We should actually make preparations for full engagement with the RAF. We will show them we not only have the art of blitzkrieg, but the art of industry. I'm going to end the RAF, and I'm going to do it by massive convoy raiding operations, combined with huge numbers of bombers over Britain. Which means it is time to begin construction of the Junker 88 with maximum bombing potential. Reliability, I've been told, does not matter. Survivability in the form of engine seems important. Name this. This is the bane of the RAF. Produce it. Okay. Less naval bombers. More bane of the RAF. We don't need that many transports either. Give me a lot of them. 50 factories. Pretty good. Less CAS. More bane of the RAF. Yes, please. Okay. We need some more aluminium. Already maxed out all that kind of good stuff. So if we could just get a little extra from Hungary, that would be marvelous. And we're going to deploy these to great effect. We're going to destroy the British capacity to wage war in the air. We're going to limit any attempts to import further goods. And we're going to generally play merry hell with them. So the western approaches needs convoy raiding. It's going to be tough because it's close to their air bases. But I have just occurred to me, these ships need bases. Brittany is a very good place for us to repair out of, so I think that's what we shall do. Why do we not have superiority here? There are some enemy ships present. Why don't you just try and find them? I bet we'd win. I don't want to go through the channel, so we'll repair in Brittany with all of these glorious heavy ships. Easy kills on those convoys. How many convoys do you reckon this guy's killed? He's got very low organization because he's being hit from the air, but he can take it. He's sunk 16 ships, which doesn't count convoys. Damn. That's pretty good. That's pretty good. And what's going on here? Oh, just some of my convoys are taking some hits. We could also... Yes, let's diminish their ability to hit us at sea. I'd like an airbase down here, please. Just a small one will do. We already have some good air bases around here. I think another one here to give maximum range out over the western approaches seems advised, along with a radar there, perhaps replacing the one in Normandy, in fact. Yes, that seems good. Also, radar coverage down here and here. Excellent. Okay, I'm going to call it a part. In the next one, we will begin the battle for Britain. The planes will take to the skies, and we will begin inflicting massive casualties on the RAF, preparing for the invasion of this floating aircraft carrier in the North Sea. I will see you in the next one. Thanks for watching. Bye-bye.